Stuff that I want you guys to know about MIT before we start the tour. MIT is known as the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's a private research university in Cambridge, Massachusetts, founded in 1861 in response to increasing industrialization in the United States. The Institute adopted a European polytechnic university model, and it stresses laboratory instruction in what? What are the subjects for MIT? What's MIT known for? What fields? Applied science and engineering. The early emphasis, applied technology and undergraduate levels led to close cooperation in the industry. Ready? What did they do in 1934 before anyone else at MIT? Researchers worked on computers, radar, inertial guidance. Cool? Today, the Institute comprises of various academic departments with a strong emphasis on scientific, engineering, and technological education and research. It has 5 schools and 1 college, which total have 32 departments, and they have a strong entrepreneurial culture. The aggregated revenues, are you ready? Are you guys ready for this information?
Yeah.
The aggregated revenues, which means money, of companies founded by MIT alumni. So the revenues of the companies that were created by the alumni of MIT, they amass the 11th largest economy in the world. So people go to MIT, and what happens afterwards? They become rich. All right?
Are you kidding me?
Ready?
Yep.
It is one of the most selective higher learning institutions. 18,000 applications. They only admit 1,419 a year. How many of you will be part of the 1,400? Raise your hands.
Maybe.
Only one. We see. Ready? What has MIT produced? It has produced many famous people, 81 Nobel Prize winners, 52 National Medal of Science recipients, 45 Rhodes Scholars, 38 MacArthur Fellows, and 2 Fields Medalists. Is that awesome?
Yeah. Impressive.
More stuff. MIT used to have a different name. It was called the Boston Technical School, and then they changed. The curriculum is drifted on the basis of it is a vocational emphasis. Vocational meaning they're teaching you skills as opposed to theory. MIT faculty and alumni rebuffed Harvard University. They tried to merge MIT with Harvard. Interesting. There were at least 6 attempts to absorb MIT into Harvard. What do you think? We are going to the new MIT campus today. In 1916, MIT moved to a spacious new campus, largely consisting of land and a mile of tract along the Cambridge side of the Charles River. We're going to see beautiful waters today. MIT MIT does a lot of involvement in what? Military research, specifically started during World War II. In 1941, Vannevar Bush was appointed the head of the Office of Science and Research, and MIT gets specific funding towards war. Other defense projects MIT works on, not quite what I expected to hear, but okay. What do they work on? Complex control systems for gun sight, bomb sights, inertia, labs, digital computer programming, whirlwind, high-speed altitude photography. By the end of World War II, MIT became the nation's largest wartime contractor, employing nearly 4,000 in the radiation lab alone, and they received, ready? $1.2 billion from the United States government to work on United States defense. MIT also, though research includes SAGE missiles and ballistic missiles and Project Apollo. Interesting. MIT has kept pace with the advanced digital age. In addition to developing modern computer networks, students, staff, what does MIT have? Ready? They have an artificial intelligence laboratory, a tech model railroad club. They wrote some of the earliest computer video games. MIT wrote a game called Space War. Several major computer-related organizations have originated at MIT. They also created a free software foundation in the 1980s. MIT they support open source and open access movements and open courseware. They allow lecture notes, problem sets, syllabus, lectures from a great majority of its courses available online for free. The courseware MIT offers has been translated into 6 languages. I think we're good. I'm really excited. We'll keep going in a bit.
Affiliated in a frat or a sorority, so sometimes they choose to, choose to move out to their frat's house, their sorority's house over in Boston, in Central Square. At the beginning of their sophomore year, you have to stay on campus during freshman year. But let me see, I think someone mentioned. So I'll talk briefly about the athletics program. So over in that direction is both the outdoor and indoor athletic complex. So outdoor is everything you might imagine, you know, football field, track, tennis court.
Can we see it? We want to see.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
We won't go to the outdoor complex.
Sounds great, let's go. Secretary, Ban Ki-moon. American political leader, John Hancock, John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Rutherford B. Hayes, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Al Gore, George Bush, Barack Obama, the Chilean president, Sebastian Pinera, Colombian president, Juan Miguel Santos, Costa Rican president, Jose Maria Figueras, Mexican president, Felipe Calderón, Carlos Salinas de let's just say there were a bunch of presidents. Indian member of parliament, Jayant Sinha. Albanian prime minister, these are all Harvard graduates, Fawn S. Noli. Canadian prime minister, Mackenzie King. Pierre Trudeau. Greek prime minister, Antonis Samaras. Israel prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Pakistani prime minister, Benazir Bhutto. U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Sean Donovan. Canadian political leader, Michael Ignatieff. Pakistani members of the Provincial Assembly, Murtaza Bhutto and Sanam Bhutto. Bangladesh Minister of Finance. President of Puntland. U.S. Ambassador to the European Union. Royalty has graduated from Harvard. Frederick, Crown Prince of Denmark. Crown Princess of Masato. Princess of Japan. Sheikh Dr. Mohammed Sabah Al-Salam Al-Sabah, 2 people, of Kuwait. Court, ready? Court people. A lot. Are you ready to hear the business people who make money? Religious leader, businessman, philanthropist, Aga Khan. Businessman and philanthropist, Bill Gates, started. Philanthropist, Huntington Hartford. Facebook creator, Mark Zuckerberg. Businessman Jeffrey Skiing. Businessman Gabe Newell. Civil rights leaders, are you guys listening? W.E.B. Du Bois. Philosopher, Henry David Thoreau. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Poets, E.E. Cummings. Conductor, cellists. Television show host Conan O'Brien is a Harvard graduate. Yeah. Actors, Tatiana Ali, Nestor Carbon, Matt Damon. Matt Damon is a Harvard graduate. Fred Gwynn, Hill Harper, Rashida Jones, Tommy Lee Jones, Ashley Judd. Ashley Judd is a Harvard graduate. Jack Lemmon. Natalie Portman is a Harvard graduate. Mira Sorvino, Elizabeth Shue, Scotty Thompson. Film directors, Darren Aronofsky, Terrence Malick, Mira Nar, Whit Shillman. Architects, Philip Johnson. Rivers Cuomo, Tom Morello. Sports, are you ready? NFL quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick. NFL center, Matt Burke. NBA player, Jeremy Lin, is a Harvard graduate. U.S. ski team skier, Ryan Max Riley. Physician, Sachin Jain. Physicist, Robert Oppenheimer. Computer pioneer and inventor, An Wayne. Tibetologist, George Rope.
Some of the more notable buildings, and we'll discuss the history and culture of Harvard Yard, a bit about my experience, and any questions that you guys might have along the way. Sometimes I speak a bit too quickly, so if you can't hear me or need me to say something again, just stick your hand up. If you have any questions along the way, stick your hand up, and I'll do my best to answer them. Yes, questions right now.
Can you show us the cool stuff, the water, like all the nice stuff? We don't need that. We can read about a lot of stuff with it. Okay,
Sounds
let's go.
good. Well, yes, what we'll do next is step out these doors. We head to the law school, the business school, a total of 12 other graduate programs. So, Lehman Hall, graduate programs live here. The college, though, really is situated in this area right behind us. We're going to walk in that direction in a moment, but before we do, I want to point out this building right here, Matthews Hall. Now, Matthews Hall is a building that plays home to freshman students. And in fact, all of the residential buildings in the Harvard Yard area, which we're going to see today, are residential halls for Harvard freshmen, which means that students in their first year of school will come, they'll live in this small area, which is nice because as large as Harvard is, it gives an opportunity for these freshmen students to get to know one another. Yeah, which is excellent. I'll discuss a little bit more about the history of this building and the residential style of living in a moment at our next stop. But before I do, any questions about what you saw?
No, we're good. We're in motion. New Yorkers. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
So, shall I wait for these?
Let's go, guys. Okay.
All right. So, everyone, we haven't moved that far from where we were, but I want you to take a moment. Imagine this field, these buildings, but imagine with cows, sheep, maybe even some small pigs, chickens, and such. That's what this area looked like about 200 years ago. Many of the buildings that you see around us right now have been in their current form or maintained to their current form for the last 200 years. So this part of the Harvard campus is in fact quite old, relatively speaking. And it wasn't until the 1810s that then president of Harvard, John Kirkland, decided to quote-unquote clean up the sheep commons, get rid of the sheep, the cows, the chickens, the pigs, and really set in motion an effort to turn Harvard University into something that was considered a little bit more provincial or rustic into a national university which would gain international recognition.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, before we, I would like to point out this building right behind you. This is Massachusetts Hall, which is a freshman residence, but when it was originally built, was soon used by the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War as a headquarters for then General George Washington and his troops. And the story goes that the soldiers who were boarded in this building were running low on ammunition, so they actually removed all the nails and all the doorknobs from the building to melt into bullets. Once the Revolutionary War was complete, once it was won by the United States, Harvard actually brought a lawsuit against the United States government, which was then of course quite new, and won. So in good Harvard fashion, Harvard is actually infamous for being the first successful litigant against the United States government.
Awesome.
And I think they won a grand total of $50 or so, so not much by our standards, but you know, it's priceless to be first.
Hi. What I thought of Harvard was that it was like really big, and I don't know how college kids like work their way around there because it's that big. And to be honest, it kind of looks, because the structure there is so old, and it looks like more like a Catholic school, like a Catholic college, because of the way it looked like. I'm sorry.
What do you think of Harvard?
Well, I actually like. Harvard. Because I think Harvard. I'm sorry. I think Harvard was like really cool. I see the curriculum there is like awesome, because like the medical school, like they have a lot of things there, but it just like it's really big.
So I just came from Harvard, and what I really enjoyed about Harvard was the history behind the school. It was very rich and entertaining. It was very passionate, all the things that brought up to the school. I like the campus of Harvard, but MIT was also very nice. And I had a good experience with the people. They all seemed very nice. And the library was definitely very interesting in Harvard, the big library.